For 25 years, nothing has tasted better after a hard day's work than a Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's because since day one, Mike's has been making lemonade the hard way. We use 3 kinds of lemons, all hand-picked from family farms, then blended to perfection and cold-pressed to create the epic hard lemonade you know and love. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Hard days deserve a hard lemonade. Mike's is hard, so is prison. Don't drive drunk. Premium malt beverage with flavors. All registered trademarks used under license by Mike's Hard Lemonade Company, Chicago, Illinois.
Jeez. I hate people. I hate people. This is why they're the worst. Are you ready for it? Hey there.
Hey. So, Reddit needs to lighten the fuck up.
Now, as I was afraid of, that I think I mentioned last week, now Rachel is banned from said forum, subreddit.
It's just ridiculous. People
They're like so intense.
Nazis.
And all I did was we made our own like subreddit community, which is People Are the Worst Pod, just to like another true crime one. And when you do it, it's like cross post to other similar forums. And so I did, not promoting the podcast at all, that actually asked the question, what case got you into true crime? And it got a ton of responses. Like people were like into the discussion.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I get a message, banned. I was like, for what? She was like, promoting your podcast. I was like, it was encouraging me to cross post. I don't know what else to do. They said cross posting is promoting. And they said, and go ahead and talk to your sibling about that. I was like, I knew if I were associated with you, I'd get screwed.
Well, I got banned from another one, true crime discussion or something, because I'm guessing that I broke the bully rule, which was the same one I posted on Instagram of John Wayne Gacy as a baby, and he's fat. So I called him a porker. And then I put in a little disclaimer, I'm allowed to say that because he grew up to be horrible. And so I posted that on Reddit, just true crime discussion board, and said, what a hefty little psychopath. Boom.
It was
bam.
funny.
Look, if I can't insult a child rapist and murderer, then what are we doing here? I mean,
And torturer.
yeah. I
They,
mean,
these moderators wouldn't last a day in any of the Bravo subreddits. I'll tell you that.
They are weak. I'm sorry.
They're weak. And none of those people have tortured, raped, or murdered any kids.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a lot meaner than that.
There's also a subreddit called Am I Asshole? And
I saw that.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, yeah, you're an asshole. You're being selfish, like whatever. I don't know. They're weak, these moderators. So I'm like, you're a little too sensitive. So
Right.
We're not going to have rules. You know what? You can bully the hell out of a serial killer.
We're not worried about it.
Call them fat. The lower, the better. Lower the
And-
insult, the better.
Here's what really irks me about these stupid moderators. They're very mean about it.
Yeah, they're not nice. It's not like, oh, I know you can't do that. Because their rules are 200 pages long. And I'm like, oh, I do not have time to read that. So
I'm like, I go, y'all run a real tight ship around here. And they're like, yes, we do. I mean, they're like intense. And then they, I don't know, shamed me for being related to you. And it was a whole thing. I was like, y'all have got to calm down.
right. It's a true crime forum. God.
Relax.
They're taking away my First Amendment. And so I'm pissed.
They're so annoying. So whatever, we'll give up. Or if you're on Reddit, join ours, our subreddit.
God.
Because the rule is there
are no rules. Woo! Talk shit. Give your opinion. Do whatever. My God.
Do whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be on like, oh, it looks like you're looking for a case. We only post those on Wednesdays. Taken down. I'm like, all right, y'all are like so annoying.
So strict. God. Anywho.
We won't mention Reddit again. How's that?
Unless they piss me off again. How's that?
Oh, obviously.
I think that really was their only order of business. What story are you telling me?
Donnah Winger.
Oh, okay.
Do you know it? Be honest. It's okay if you do.
No, I have no idea. I was about to say, who that?
Who dat? Is that really all? I feel like I haven't talked to you.
Oh, are we going to do season finales and all that?
I mean, I think so. Is this the end of season 1?
So this is our 10th episode, everyone. And so we can't decide if we should do seasons or just keep it going. Because seasons, it would give us time to kind of catch up, record more.
Yeah.
But how long would that be in between seasons? So I'm already started.
Not long.
Yeah.
Like a month. Like 6 weeks, maybe.
Not 6 weeks. No way.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I don't even know a month. My next one, I've already started. It's going to be a dark one. We haven't done like a very dark one yet. But, well, actually, I'm stuck between two. And they're both very dark, one darker than the other. But I'll do them both eventually. So now I'm like, okay, so if this is our season finale, then mine will be the season opener for season 2. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I feel like I know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I already asked your opinion today.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay,
well, so yeah, this may be end of season 1. Okay, like couple weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because I do hate when it goes months.
Right, like
I'm thinking
radio rental.
Oh my god, I was gonna say I'm thinking of one in particular.
No, radio rental. What was that about? They waited a year. I lost steam.
I know, and I only say that because it's so good.
It's so good.
I can't go a year between seasons. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed.
It's good. I'm so glad you haven't heard it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to tell you about Donnah Winger.
Okay.
It's really sad, actually. So wipe that smile off your face, bitch. What's that from?
Dave's confused. But
Duh.
What are you looking at? Wipe that smile off your head, bitch.
Oh, yeah, it's off your head.
Yeah. God, that's such a Parker Posey. Hell yeah.
So good.
All
right. Sources are ABC News, a website called Midwest Crime Files, CBS News, and there's a 2020 on it, but I'll tell you the name later. And I actually wrote the name out at the end, so I didn't accidentally say it just then.
Oh, but it's
nailed it.
Funny when you screw up. Okay.
I know. Well, I've only read through this once, so there's plenty more ops. Don't you worry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 32-year-old Donnah Winger and her husband Mark lived in Springfield, Illinois. Donnah was an operating room technician and Mark was a nuclear engineer. Donnah was the oldest of 3 sisters and they were all really close. And in the 2020, I watched it last night. One of her sisters joked that when you marry one of them, you marry all of them.
We joke about that.
I was like, damn it if we didn't say that every fucking time. Because it's true.
It's totally true. Yeah.
And if you don't like it, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Peace out. Yeah.
Donnah and Mark wanted a baby really badly, but they learned that Donnah could not get pregnant. So one day while she was at work in the hospital, a doctor told her that there was a pregnant teenage girl looking for someone to adopt her unborn baby. Donnah and Mark jumped at the opportunity, and on June 1st, 1995, they welcomed their daughter, Bailey. So that really worked out.
Yeah.
They had just found out she couldn't get pregnant.
Sure.
They get a baby. So while they're at the hospital waiting on Bailey's arrival, Donnah met Deanne Schultz, who also works there, and the two became BFF. One of Donnah's sisters told 2020 that Deanne was like another sister to their family. There's a ton of home videos of them on that 2020, and it's like Donnah, Deanne, and Bailey. They're just all like uber close.
Mm-hmm.
So in August 1995, Donnah and 3-month-old Bailey went to visit her family in Hollywood, Florida. When the trip was over, Donnah and Bailey flew into St. Louis, which is like 2 hours from Springfield. And since Bailey was so young, Donnah hired a private driver to drive them back to Springfield. 28-year-old Roger Harrington was the driver, and given the 2-hour car ride, the two got chatting and things turned weird AF.
Oh, okay.
Roger told her that he had another personality named Dom.
Oh, no.
Dom had recently started telling him to do violent things. He mentioned mutilating people and setting car bombs.
Holy shit. She hired a private driver to be safe. What's
Right.
the irony in that? Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I do.
He also flirted with her and even invited her to one of his sex parties.
No, thank you, Dom.
No thanks. As the conversation got weirder and weirder, Roger started driving very fast and erratically, telling her sometimes when he drives, this godlike character would come to him and pull him out of his body, and he would be flying above the trees.
Shut
he
up.
was
Where
just
did
like-
she hire this company he's with?
Yeah, it's through a company.
Oh, no.
Well, they take care of
And you
this.
can't
Don't-
tuck and roll. You have a baby.
No, there's a 3-month-old.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So she's like, God, what is going on? So
Get your shoe
I'll-
and you smack him in the head.
he's driving but hauling ass, by the way. So ultimately, she and Bailey make it home safely, but she was freaking out because he dropped them off at home. So he now knows where they live.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So she was freaking out. Donna told Mark about the drive, and Mark was pissed.
Understandably.
Pissed.
What year is this? Sorry.
1995.
Okay.
He called the transportation company to complain, and Roger got suspended. Throughout the next week, what?
Suspended. He had a 3-month-old in the car and was talking about mutilating people and inviting customers to sex parties. What?
Right. They were like, take a paid week off. Just kidding.
You know what? You're on
You know what?
sabbatical.
Yeah. So he got suspended. Throughout the next week, Donna and Mark started getting very weird phone calls from a man,
Sure.
assuming it was Roger, asking for Donna in a really weird voice.
Ew.
I could not find what kind of voice. I'm like picturing a baby voice. I don't know.
That is the creepiest of them all. If he was actually talking to baby, oh God, I can't even. I was gonna
Please don't do an impression.
I was- Ew, that would be creepier than like, get Donna on the phone.
No, a grown ass man doing a baby voice.
Not pronouncing his R's correctly.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I picture, but I cannot confirm that.
Why do you picture that?
But,
Was it
because on the
described?
way home, no, it wasn't described anywhere. But on the way home from the beach on the plane the other day, I was listening to a Let's Not Meet where some girl's creepy ass coworker started talking to her in a baby
Ew,
voice.
it really cringes. I get douche bumps. I cannot. Grown men turning
was-
their R's into W's and being all cutesy.
She said he would go.
No, I really don't know if I want you to.
He would give her random nicknames, and she couldn't think of one, but she said he would be like, "Oh, his nickname, Angry Wangry."
Yo, just so you know, I've turned my head. I can't look at Rachel right now. It is so embarrassing.
It's so gross.
Gross.
Oh.
Okay, so
So anyway, weird phone calls
from
with a weird
Wajil.
voice from Wajil.
For 25 years, Mike's has been making lemonade the hard way. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Hard days deserve a hard lemonade. Mike's is hard, so is prison. Don't drive drunk. Premium malt beverage with flavors. All registered trademarks used under license by Mike's Hard Lemonade Company, Chicago, Illinois.
It's really
Oh, was
not-
Wajil giving Odo?
We're gonna circle back to see if we should cut that.
Okay.
So Haley, stay tuned. We may cut that at the very end. Okay. Donna wrote down the entire experience so she would have something to reference if she needed to go to the police. Oof.
Yeah.
So 6 days later, on August 29th, 1995, Mark was on his treadmill downstairs in the basement when he heard a big thud. He walked upstairs to their bedroom and saw Bailey on the bed by herself, which he was like, big red flag. Donna would never leave her unattended on the bed.
Oh my God.
So he grabbed his gun, walked down the hall where he said he saw Donna lying on the floor in the dining room with a man standing over her, bludgeoning her with a hammer.
Oh,
Mark-
God. This
I know.
2020 actually kind of sounds familiar now. Okay. Oh my God. Ah.
Yeah. Mark shot the man and called 911.
Mm-hmm.
When police got there, both the man and Donnah were in really bad shape, but both of them were alive. Donnah had been hit no less than 7 times, the detective said.
Oh,
And the man had been shot in the head.
good.
One detective had a Polaroid in his car, and he took pictures of the crime scene and recovered the bloody hammer, which belonged to Donnah. She left it out on the dining room table as a reminder to hang a hat rack.
Oh, yeah.
I know, sad. Which is like stuff I do. I leave
Me
stuff out to like
too.
remind me of
Me
stuff.
too. There's no worse way to die, I don't think. That would be it.
No, yeah.
Ugh. Because your skull is hard. That is, oof, it's
I know.
not fast. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. So they recovered the hammer. There was also a yellow coffee mug, a pack of cigs, Mark's 45 caliber gun.
Mm-hmm.
They took the man and Donnah to the hospital, but both were pronounced dead shortly after arriving.
Oh.
I know. Meanwhile, Mark stayed back talking to Detective Charlie Cox, who was freaking out that he was going to go to jail for killing him. But Detective Cox was like, no, you're all good.
Yeah.
Self-defense. We cool. You cool. You all right?
Yeah.
Mark finally calmed down and he asked Detective Cox if the guy's name was Roger. And Cox said, yes, his name's Roger Harrington. Mark told Cox the entire story, showed him Donna's note about everything that had happened.
Oh, yeah.
And get this, Detective Cox knew Roger.
Oh, no way. Springfield, small town, huh?
I know, but he had driven him from St. Louis. So I was actually
yeah.
like, whoa.
Wow. Okay.
And he said it was very possible Roger could snap. He told ABC News, quote, because there's some bad grammar in this. So I'm like, this is a direct quote.
Mm-hmm.
I knew him as a very volatile type subject. Him and his wife rented a trailer from me. Knowing what I knew about Mr. Harrington in the past, how quick he was to anger, I thought that he very well could have gone over there to get his job back. There's a hammer laying right there on the table. He picks it up and goes into a rage. He also noted a time that he had to break up a fight between Roger and his wife, saying that his wife was bent over the couch, and just as Roger was about to strike her again, Cox ran in and grabbed him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yikes.
Yikes.
The case was pretty open and shut. And over the next few months, Donna's mom and one of her sisters took turns flying to Illinois to help Mark with Bailey. When that became more and more difficult, they encouraged him to hire a nanny. And in January 1996, 23-year-old Rebecca Simic was hired to nanny for Bailey. Donna's family loved her. She was so good to Bailey. They loved her. Mm-hmm. Rebecca told 2020 that she was blown away by what the baby had been through in her short little life.
Yeah.
Saying she lost 2 mothers by the time she was 3 months old, and yet she was so smiley. She said, I wanted to get in there and say, I'm going to help. I'm going to make this little girl's life better. And again, this 2020, there's a lot of home videos on this 2020, and she is like she's
happy.
Good. Well, and I'm saying Rebecca's good too. She's so good with her.
Oh, okay. That's true, though. She lost 2 moms in less than a year, right? At this point, she's
3 months. 3 months.
I know,
she was 3 months old.
But that was when Crazy Roger was driving erratically. I don't know how long those calls lasted, how long.
Oh, well, she was murdered 1 week after
okay.
that drive.
God, 3 months, that poor little baby. But she doesn't know, so okay.
I know. Well, she does know, but
no,
we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Sure.
While Rebecca started adjusting to her new role, Donna's friend Deanne, again, who she met at the hospital, began to make her feel uncomfortable and seemed to be pushing to stay involved in Bailey's life. Rebecca didn't like it.
Oh.
She mentioned it to Mark, and Mark told her that just she and Donna were uber close. Deanne was having a really hard time with Donna's death. She was like, fine. Rebecca and Mark's relationship, as I'm sure you could see, eventually turns romantic.
I don't love that. She's 23. How old is he?
32, I think, at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. 31 or 2.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that inevitably happening.
Yeah, well, and she was a live-in nanny, too. So she talks about in the 2020, like, She was like, we were like already in those roles.
Yeah.
Like I lived there.
Oh, yeah.
That we had a baby essentially. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so she said it was very easy. But when Rebecca asked, so she was only hired like 5 months later after Donna died. So a few months after that is when it turned romantic, and Rebecca asked how he could move on so quickly. And he told her, when you have such a good marriage, it's easy to want it again.
Oh, that's sad.
Within a year, Rebecca got pregnant and they eloped in Hawaii in October 1996, 14 months after Donna's death.
Oh, wow. Now, at that point, you stopped paying her for a nanny gig, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, like, that'd be so awkward. Well, even before her pregnancy, like, they are romantically involved. How?
No. Right.
Sure. Okay.
Right after the wedding, Rebecca officially adopted 18-month-old Bailey.
Ah, cute.
In December 1996, Mark reached out to Donna's family to tell them that he was selling the house that he and Donna once shared together, the same one she was killed in, obviously.
Yeah.
He explained that he and Rebecca were starting their family and buying a house in the country outside of Springfield.
That makes sense. I would have to get the hell out of that house too. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I would have done it immediately.
I wouldn't have gone back in. Once the cops left, I would leave too and be like, not go.
We're done here.
We're done.
He also told them that he was going to cut ties with them and told Sarah Jane, Donna's mom, that Bailey would no longer call her grandma.
The fuck she won't would be my response.
I know. And Sarah Jane's real cute. Sarah Jane wrote back begging him to let her call her grandma. And he said, sorry, no way that's happening. She said she
grandmother rights? They're grandparent rights, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
She said she mourned that for a very long time.
Baby, I'm sure she did.
I know. Bailey, who was 25 at the time of the interview that I read, she just turned 27 on June 1st.
Okay.
Said that she got a birthday card every year from Donna's parents. Eventually, she asked her mom who they were, and Rebecca said, those are Donna's parents, and they just want to let you know that they love you and they remember you.
What?
Rebecca is so noise.
I bet it sounds like Mark was going to be like, let's just raise her together and you're going to be her mom. And Rebecca's like, no, Donna was your mom.
Yeah.
Rebecca's a good person.
She's such a good person.
Okay, great.
So eventually, total, Mark and Rebecca have 3 more children together in addition to Bailey. So there's 4 of them now. They have 2 girls, Anna and Maggie, and 1 boy named Ben. One day in 1999, Mark didn't feel well, so Rebecca took him to the hospital. There, they ran into Deanne Schultz. Deanne said this is when she couldn't take it anymore, and she went to the police with a chilling story.
Okay.
She admitted that she and Mark had been having an affair starting about 1 month before Donna's death and continued about 6 months after it.
Deanne and him?
Deanne and Mark.
Oh.
It lasted until he ended it right after he hired Rebecca. She went on to tell them that Mark said it would be a lot easier if Donna were dead. What? And when he found out about the weird house ride home with Roger, he had an opportunity to frame him. He told Deanne that he was determined to get Roger to their house. She said she didn't take the comments seriously, but when Donna ended up dead, seemingly at the hands of Roger, she knew Mark did it, and the guilt haunted her for years. I read in one source that she attempted suicide several times because she couldn't handle it.
Oh, my God. Okay.
So apparently when they showed up at the hospital, she got Mark alone and was like, how are you living with yourself? And he said he found Jesus Christ, but if she ever said anything, they would both be in trouble. And she was like, I can't fucking take this anymore.
Oh my God.
So rewind real quick back to 1995, right after the murders.
Okay.
Roger's family was devastated. Mm-hmm. They're like, there's no way he could have committed this crime.
Oh.
When his sister Barbara raised questions to Detective Cox, she said he was very rude and said, ma'am, anytime you want to know how your kid brother walked into that home, snapped and killed that woman, come to my office and I'll show you step by step. That's a quote.
Damn.
What they did, I know. So what they didn't realize is that Detective Cox's partner, Doug Williamson, was also uber skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few parts of the story he didn't like. For instance, why would Donna leave her baby alone on the bed to open the door for Roger, a guy she was afraid of?
Yeah.
She was very afraid of him. Roger parked directly in front of their house, facing the wrong, like his car was facing the wrong way, which made it stand out a lot.
What do you mean facing the wrong, like from?
Like facing towards traffic, like facing the wrong way, parked on the street.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he left behind a piece of paper in his car that's had Mark's name on it, their address, and 4 p.m. written on it.
Oh, what, it was staged?
No, like it was an appointment. Like he jotted down name, address, 4 p.m. It just seemed like it was an appointment.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Mark put that in there to be like, hit list. Mark,
oh, yeah,
4
yeah.
p.m. Yeah.
No, the 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. really stood out to detectives because they're like, that's an appointment.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There was no forced entry. He came in carrying that coffee mug and pack of cigarettes. Why would he do that with unless he was welcome in the home? Like you're not breaking in with a handful of cigarettes and a handful of coffee.
Right. And when you said there was a hammer on the table, I was thinking that initially, being like he came in with no weapon, but he was there to kill.
That's the last point I had.
And I stole it from you.
And there you are.
Just
why would he use a hammer that he found inside the house when he had a tire iron in his car, which he did?
Oh, yeah.
Which would have also been a deadly weapon.
Holy shit. Wow, Mark really saw an opportunity there.
I know. So Doug back then brought it to Charlie, his partner, but Cox could not be convinced and actually praised Mark for being a hero. Ultimately, though, Detective Cox did become suspicious when Mark kept showing up at the police station. A few months after the murders, he came by the police station, asked for his gun back, which they turned over to him. But then he showed up a couple more times asking about the status of the case and if it was still open. And Cox was like, what? No. It was literally closed within 48 hours.
Yeah, stop prying.
Self-defense? Why do you keep asking?
There's no investigation.
Right.
He wants to make sure that it's still closed. Yeah.
He asked if they're still conducting interviews or they're like, no, we closed it literally within 48 hours.
Oof, you're digging your own grave, Mark.
I know.
Keep it up.
Cox said that's when he got a really uneasy feeling, and the detectives went to their superiors and asked if they could look into it more, and they said no, it was open and shut, and they weren't going to let them embarrass the police department and Mark, all because of a feeling.
Oh my God.
So they let it go, and Mark got to live freely for over 3 years.
Holy shit.
But when Deanne brought this story to the police, they went back and re-examined the evidence, and while doing so, one detective asked Detective Cox if he wanted to look at the 3 Polaroid pictures he took before Donna and Roger were taken to the hospital. Cox said on the 2020 he didn't want to look stupid, but he had no idea what he was talking about. But he said, sure.
Oh.
He was like, so he got them, the pictures, and was like, no one ever showed us these.
Holy shit. Wait, so who took them?
Detective that arrived first.
Wow.
So he had the Polaroid, but remember, Donna and Mark were still alive. So by the time eventually the lead detectives got there, they were already off to the hospital. So they never even saw the bodies.
Oh.
And they never, I guess, I don't know. I don't think it wasn't formal pictures taken of the crime scene. They saw those.
Right.
But this guy was just like, oh, before they move the bodies, I have a Polaroid in my car. Let me just go get pictures really quick. And I guess didn't turn them in. He said he'd never seen them before.
Oof. Yeah.
And they were damning. Mark said that after he grabbed his gun, he ran down the hall to find Roger kneeling by Donna's head, beating her with a hammer. Roger looked at Mark, and that's when Mark shot him in the head. Roger fell with his feet still at Donna's head, is what Mark said. So he just immediately fell over. But looking at the Polaroid, nope. They were actually lying in the same direction and a good distance apart.
Oh, God, Mark, you suck. I mean, I'm not in the business telling how to get away with things.
I mean,
but like,
really bad.
come up with, yeah. Okay.
So, it was so, like, he didn't know that they would both still be alive. Had they not rushed him off to the hospital, I'm sure the detectives would have walked in and been like,
Yeah.
what? Sorry. No, what you're describing is not what happened.
And to give such a specific details, he was kneeling down, hitting her with a hammer. He fell right where he was kneeling, when you know very well he's whatever, a few feet away from lying from her. Like,
yeah, it's bad.
Bad.
But
good.
Yeah, it's great, actually. This was it. Detectives said they couldn't afford to make any more mistakes, so they took 2 years to gather every detail, every piece of evidence for a solid case against Mark for murder.
Hell yeah.
And in May 2002, Mark went to trial. In addition to Deanne, the owner of the transportation company testified that when Mark called to report him, he asked for Roger's contact information. And the owner was like, that it was really unusual. Like, usually if someone calls for a complaint, like, they're just complaining to the office. They don't like actually want to speak to the driver.
Right.
So the owner called Roger and asked if it was okay if he gave him his number. And Roger was like, yes, I want to smooth things over too.
Oh.
I want to clear it all up. So that's how he got his number. Roger's roommate said she was with Roger when he got that phone call, and Mark told him to come over that day at 4:30 so they could smooth everything out and he could help Roger get his job back. And she said she watched him write that note, like Mark's name, his address, 4:30 p.m.
Probably so thrilled and relieved to get a second chance. What a piece of shit, that Mark.
I mean, for real.
Oh, Roger, I apologize for making fun of you in a baby voice earlier.
That's why I was like, I can't decide if we're going to end up having to cut that.
No. No, it is what it is, and I didn't know, so no.
All right, fine.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Totally. Once Roger was in the house, Mark shot him, and when Donna ran into the room to see what was going on, he beat her with a hammer.
Oh, God. Wait, so she ran in without Bailey? So she did leave
She
her
heard
on the bed.
gunshots.
Oh, so she did leave her on the bed.
Yeah, she left her on the bed. She ran in to see what happened because she heard gunshots. During the 911 call, you can hear it online. Mark is yelling, obviously putting on a role of a lifetime, tells the operator that the intruder is lying there with, quote, a bullet in his head. Then he abruptly goes, I have to go, my baby's crying. But in the background, there is no baby crying. You actually hear Roger moaning. So they're confident he realized right before he said that his baby was crying that he hadn't shot him dead. So he thought of the dumbest fucking excuse possible to get off the phone 911 and shot Roger again, because even though he referenced that Roger had, quote, a bullet in his head, when police got there, he actually had two.
Holy shit.
Springfield Police. Yes, hold me. What's the problem?
I just shot this man in my house.
He's inside your house right now?
He beat my wife.
Is he in there right now?
Yes, sir.
Does he have a gun?
The brains are everywhere.
Where's the man at?
He's laying on the floor.
Is he dead?
I don't know. He's making weird sounds. 20 cents. 20.
Sir, slow down. I can't understand you. Slow down. Is the man still in your house?
Yes, he's laying there on the floor with a bullet in his head.
Did you shoot him?
Yes, I shot him. He was killing my wife. Please, my baby's crying. My baby's crying. I gotta go. I'll call you right back.
Oh, I got chills. Okay, so that was not 2 minutes, but you may have to re-listen, and especially this has captions on it so you can actually understand them. You literally hear moaning in the background. There's no baby crying. It is like it's eerie. So
wait, so all of this for an affair with Deanne, they ended up ending 6 months later? Like, well, he said it'd be easier for Donna to be dead. Why?
Well, I think the original plan was for him and Deanne to end up together, but then he met Rebecca.
That is just so shocking that you can beat your wife with a hammer. God knows how long that takes. That is so gruesome. All for the love of this Deanne, who you just end up breaking up with 6 months later because a very sweet younger thing
Right.
into your life. That's just, why'd you do it again? Like, what? That is just so gross.
Yeah, exactly. The trial went on for 3 weeks, and nearly 7 years after Donna's death, the jury found Mark guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, and on August 1st, 2002, he was sentenced to life in prison with no parole. To this day, he maintains his innocence. Suck it.
Yeah, screw yourself.
I will say the police were very quick to own up to their mistakes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Charlie Cox said, I was ashamed of the way the investigation went. I hurt Roger Harrington's family. I ran his name through hell for no reason. I mean, he was an innocent victim. Another detective said the police department too hastily closed the case and turned a blind eye to some red flags. And to right such a wrong, it felt great. Like after the trial.
Yeah.
Then
Good. Own up to it. Good.
no, they feel awful. Then in 2005, Mark was implicated in a murder for hire plot where he allegedly tried to put a hit on Deanne and a childhood friend who refused to pay his bail.
Oh, you little piece of shit. Get out of here with your...
So he was tried and convicted again.
Oh my God.
This time for solicitation of murder, and he was sentenced to an additional 35 years in prison.
You
like,
stop it.
Stop it. Such an idiot.
Oh my God. If I were Deanne and that childhood friend, I would just go to the jailhouse and wave.
I mean,
what
did he think was going to happen when both of them who wronged him, who he very
right, who's the
publicly
common
hates,
denominator here,
end up murdered?
He doesn't think this guy.
Well, yeah, he probably just thought, like, I have nothing to lose. I'm in prison for life. Whatever. So they tacked on another 35 years.
God, good. Poor, what's Reb doing?
So I'm going to get there. Bailey and their other children changed their last name from Winger to Simic, which is Rebecca's last name.
Okay.
They also reconnected with Donna's family, and they've set up an organization called Donna's Fund, which is a part of Women in Distress that works to provide shelter for women trying to escape abuse.
Oh, good.
Which is so good. And, well, it made me sad because, so Rebecca, like, really thought he'd be found not guilty. They're like, she said the fact that they took 2 years to pull evidence and gather everything meant that they didn't have that much. So she was like, I was fully expecting him to walk out of the courtroom with us.
So he had never abused Rebecca?
No.
I'm guessing.
No.
Wow. It would have come out. It would have come out, Reb.
Yeah.
But a few years of marriage, he would have been terrible to you.
Right. But the sad part for her, especially obviously, is she was a stay-at-home mom all those years.
Oh, shit.
So, like, one day, everything was just gone, his job, everything. So they had to, like, foreclose on the house.
Oh, my God. She has 4 kids.
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing. Okay.
She said she was so sweet. She said she didn't have anything to give them but love.
Oh, that's all they need. They can be happy.
The sweetest.
They can be happy with not much.
No, they're great.
Yeah.
So the 2020 was called The Perfect Lie. And so I looked up, I'm like, is this privacy? I don't want to violate anyone's privacy, but obviously I had to stalk Bailey on Instagram. Sure. And she lives in Birmingham.
No way.
Okay,
now I'm stalking. Hold on. Are you serious?
Yeah. I believe Rebecca lives in Louisville, which I think 2020 said that I don't think that's.
Oh my God, that is so crazy.
I mean, it was in articles too. I only saw it because she geotagged a location in some of her Instagrams. I was like, what? And then as I kept reading articles, someone is out there. But I was like, should I not say that?
God, she has lived quite the life. She has lived several lives.
I know. And she's sweet. That she posts every year on, like, adoption day, like, that she loves her mom. It's cute.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
And so that is the full story, but I did want to go over, like, two other weird things that I couldn't incorporate in the story because it would have given it away.
Mm-hmm.
So when Donna's mom and sister took turns going to help Mark with Bailey right after Donna died, they noticed like he was drinking a lot. He was going out a lot. And this is the weirdest thing. He kept watching Pulp Fiction.
Why?
Which is very violent. And like she was like, if you had just gone through that, why would you keep watching that?
Yeah.
Very
Ooh.
violent.
Ooh, he like got off on it.
And yeah, he was like, oh, hell yeah. Because, and the reason I think that now more so is because then Rebecca's brother Steve said the first time they met, like the first time he and Mark met, it was very awkward. Mark told him the whole story about what happened with Donna. But when he was telling it, it was more about like how he got to use his gun and not like an emotional, like, and my wife was being murdered in front of my very eyes. So it was very awkward. And so
Holy
that was
shit.
before Rebecca and Mark got romantic. And then when they did, Steve was like, did not like it.
Obviously.
So.
Oh my God. I got to use my gun. How old are you?
Or like how he used his gun. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know.
Such
It's just
dumb boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Can you believe that? And you like we entered this podcast being like, it's never gonna be like, oh, that's
Oh, I know.
That I mean,
No, I said unless there was a plot twist in it, and that was a good one.
right?
Right.
You know.
I do. What a piece of shit. It's so stupid. Like he did just the motive is not there. Besides him being a fucking lunatic, but God, good for Deanne, good for Rebecca, good for everyone but Mark. Poor Roger.
I know. And his whole family.
I know.
Oh God.
That is terrible. Well, that was a good one to end on. If we are doing season finale, we'll keep y'all posted. We may need a few weeks
I
to
think
catch up.
so. Yeah.
You do? Okay. But we will be back. Please like, review, subscribe, whatever. And
Tell people. The biggest one.
Yeah, tell people, word of mouth. And y'all are the best. People are the worst. And we'll be back in, I guess, a month from
Ish. We'll see. Follow us on Instagram or in our Reddit subforum.
or Reddit stuff.
Or on our Reddit. Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. See ya.